just like magic. I thought the glamour and attention would bring meaning into my life. But the truth is that for me and magic, serving, caring, supporting, and giving to others offers a much greater high than applause or accolades any day. Can you share the amazing story of magic? Because that's actually a chapter I laughed. I didn't cry, I laughed. And also, how can we identify if our dreams are ego-driven or led by our hearts?
Well, I think that when we choose to serve, it's never ego-driven. When we choose to serve and give and help and heal, oh God, it's never ego, and it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. But listen, I don't want to come across like I'm saying all actors are bad.
No.
Actors are serving too, right? I mean, I love going to the movies and watching TV and escaping into someone else's story and someone else's life. So actors and performers are very, very, very important. For me, however, there's a Chinese curse that says, may you get everything that you want. And you would think that that was a blessing, but it's not. It's a curse because we think we want things. And in the end, we look back and say, oh, thank goodness we didn't get it. Magic's story is amazing. We got him as a little baby. He was very, very depressed, wanted to die. All he would do was stand there with his head on the ground, not looking around, not interacting, not eating. We were very, very worried that he would die. So I kind of sat in a chair in his stall and just kept telling him what his life would look like and loving him and singing to him and reading out loud to him. And finally he chose to live, thank goodness. And I was so excited because I had never raised a baby horse before. So I was like, this is going to be so exciting. He never has to be ridden. He'll have a virgin back. I'll take him for walks instead. He'll have all these horses to play with. He'll get to run free. And he'll work at the Gentle Barn where all these people come every single day to pay attention to him. Like, what an amazing life, I thought. By the time he was 5, he was complaining every time I would pass by. He would go and tell me how angry and upset he was. And I would say, are you kidding me? You have a life that any other horse would just absolutely do anything for. What are you upset about? And he kept saying, do you see how gorgeous I am? Do you see how stunning I am? I chose this body so that I could get the applause of thousands. I want to perform. I want to go to the circus. Like, the circus? I'm not sending you to the circus. So I had 10 years. For 10 years, I tried to please magic. I think at one point I really did call the circus. I called Cirque du Soleil because they have a version with horses. And they, I was told that they breed their own horses. And then I called movie trainers and I was told that they train their own horses. And I kept telling Magic, like, I'm not going to give you away to some stranger in an ad. I'm not going to do that because I know what can happen to you. And he just kept saying, like, if you don't fix this, I'm going to die. And he ended up in the hospital 3 times because he kept making himself sick. And so finally, the 3rd time he was in the hospital, I don't think I could, it had been years. And he had a trainer and we took him for walks and we played hide and seek. And he came up with all these tricks to make people laugh and applaud. And he had tours and field trips applauding for him. And he literally had the best life. And I tried everything and I tried everything I could. So finally, the 3rd time he was in the hospital, I called his bluff and I said, I guess if what I'm offering is not good enough, then by all means, go. And man, did that shut him up. He has not complained since. He stopped complaining. He stopped being a brat. He stopped threatening that he was going to die. He stopped getting sick and going to the hospital. And then we had a horse named Andrew, and Andrew had a partner named Patrick, and Patrick passed away. And Andrew was grieving and needed a friend. So I asked Magic if he would please befriend Andrew and take care of him. And he said yes, and he did. And I think that experience of taking care of Andrew and breathing the life back into Andrew made magic feel important. And then once Andrew was kind of through the thick of his grief and kind of joined the rest of the family, we had another horse named Hero who was going blind. And I said, Magic, she's going blind. She needs a special someone to kind of lead her to the water, lead her to the food, and protect her. Will you step up? And he said, yes. And once again, that experience made him feel important and valued and recognized. And he was using a completely different talent and skill set that he had ever even thought of before. And then what happened next was our matriarch had passed away. And so we had a lead male. Even though horses are a matriarchal society, in the absence of a qualified female, the lead male will take over. And when that lead male passed away and we still didn't have a qualified matriarch to take over, I went to Magic one day and I said, you took care of Andrew and you did a great job. You took care of Hero and you were phenomenal. What do you think about becoming the new leader? And his eyes got big and bright. And he was like, really? You think I can do it? And I said, yes. And I will tell you that leadership does not mean that you get what you want. Leadership means you put others first. Are you ready to do that? And he said, yes. And all of a sudden, instead of causing the fights, he was now mitigating them. And all of a sudden, instead of rushing to dinner and barging everyone out of the way, he was standing back and letting everyone else go to dinner first. All of a sudden, instead of demanding that he be groomed and he get the attention, now he was grooming others. And he became a beautiful, beautiful leader to our herd. And his whole life before he started serving others and he just wanted praise and applause, he would ask, like, I'm so bored. Take me on an adventure. Put me in the trailer. Drive me to a new trail that we've never been with. Like, he was always asking to go somewhere, go somewhere, go somewhere. Once he became the leader of the herd, I would say, hey, Magic, what do you want to do on Saturday? Do you want to go somewhere? He said, oh, no, I can't leave my family. And he stepped up to be far more satisfied and happy and rewarded than applause ever did for him, because he found his true calling and his true purpose and his true skill set that he didn't even know he had.
This is such a moving story. What do you think happened in the one moment when you did stand up and say, okay, then you leave? Like, what do you think switched in that moment?
I think he was acting like he was doing me a favor by being around. And he kept saying, you know, if you don't fix this for me, then I'm out of here. And I think the minute I said, well, then go, then he had to figure out for himself what he wanted. And he chose to stay. And I think that when we choose to stay, then life is going to rush in and meet us and support us. And we're going to begin our journey to find our true selves. And it happened for me too. My whole young life, you know, I had a suicide attempt when I was 7. I tried again when I was a young adult. I always said, I want to kill myself. I want to kill myself. I don't want to be here. I hate this place. And all of a sudden, as a young adult, I was contemplating my second and final suicide attempt, when in the process, I realized that I didn't want to kill myself at all. I wanted to be here. And the minute that I chose life, I got off of drugs. I enrolled in school for psychology. I started a dog walking business, which led me to rescuing dogs, which led me to founding the Gentle Barn. It's like the minute that I once and for all chose it, not for someone else, not because I'm stuck here, not because I'm here begrudgingly, but I really once and for all chose it for myself, then life rushed in to meet me and enabled me to find my true purpose, my true calling, and my true self. And the exact same thing happened with Magic.